Live on YouTube and Google+, it's Pageant Live. This is the place for glamour and style. Get great pageant tips you won't find anywhere else. Find out what you need to know before your next pageant. Post your questions and comments for our panel during the show. Learn great ideas about all aspects of pageantry. Here we go. Pageant Live starts right now.
Welcome to tonight's show. Our sponsor for tonight is America's Super Pageant. And America's Super Pageant is a personal development opportunity for women of all ages from around the world. We are looking for delegates with style and intelligence and confidence to represent their states and countries at the international competition this June in Hamilton, Montana. The delegates of America's Super Pageant are working every day to improve the world around them by promoting seatbelt safety and awareness. Please visit americasuperpageant.com for more info, and be sure to check us out on Facebook as well. Well, we love to change things up here at Pageant Live, and I am Stephanie McGrane, International Super Ms., and one of my co-hosts for tonight's show is the fabulous and beautiful Stephanie Sylvester. She is Ms. American Elegance Lady. So welcome, Stephanie. So glad to have you with us tonight.
Thank you, Stephanie. So let me tell you a little about American Elegance Pageant. It recognizes women who, with their platforms, for their elegance and their beauty, and it doesn't matter what your nationality is, what size you are, your height, your age. And the areas of competition are interview, 50% of your score goes for interview. There's fashion wear, 20% of your score goes to that. Evening gown is 20% of your score, and then there's personal expression, which is 10% of your score, and that can be on your platform, or it could be on a hobby or anything that you wish to have that on. And the national pageant this year will be taking place November 22nd to the 24th at the Holiday Inn Chicago West Itasca.
Well, that sounds like a great system. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, and thanks for being here tonight.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And I should remind our viewers, if you have questions for tonight's guests, please post them on Pageant Live's Facebook page or on YouTube. So we're excited to hear from our viewers, so post those questions if you have them.
Tonight we will be discussing pageant etiquette. But first I'm going to have our guests introduce themselves. Let's start with Lauren.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Lauren Ransom. I am actually Miss American Elegance Woman 2012-2013. So Miss Stephanie is my pageant sister. My national platform this year is Pituitary Tumor Awareness. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and I'm a little nervous. It's 60 degrees outside, but I'm not complaining.
We're so glad to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Now let's go on to our next guest. Nicole?
Hi, I'm Nicole. I'm also part of the America Super Pageant. My title is Illinois Super Mrs. So I'm pretty excited to hold this title. The pageant includes women of all ages, from all walks of life. Stephanie McGrane kind of went over it a little bit already, but we're in the same system, so I'm excited to be joining her in that.
Yay, so glad you're here. So excited to have my America's Super Pageant Queen sister. So thank you for joining us.
Oh, I'm excited.
And Pam, should we go to you? Would you like to tell us a little bit about you?
Yes, hi, I'm Pamela Prevett. I'm the executive producer and owner of PageantLIVE. I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to let Taikisha Finney, who was going to be here and join us, she's PageantLIVE's honorary princess. Unfortunately, she didn't make it in on time, so maybe next week, Taikisha, but we do appreciate you watching us. I think I'd like to thank Stephanie McGrain and Stephanie Sylvester for hosting and co-hosting. And, you know, if you're interested in hosting or co-hosting, please send us an email at show@PageantLive.com. We try to keep everything different and interesting for our viewers. But thank you.
That sounds great. And I should also remind the viewers, again, if you have questions for tonight's guest, please post it on the Pageant Live Facebook page or on the YouTube channel of Pageant Live.
Okay, I am sure everyone is asking, what is pageant etiquette? Well, for the purpose of tonight's show, it is those unwritten rules people always have questions about. Our guests have come up with questions, and we are going to discuss them, and we encourage you to provide your opinion as well.
That sounds great. And also, since there's no real authority, and these are just our opinions. And please remember that tonight's show is represented by queens from different systems, so they're bringing different things to the table with different experiences. So we may have some differing of opinion and different past experiences, but we're going to attempt to answer some of those questions that there's no real answer for.
Our first question is it okay for a title holder to wear her crown and sash to a public event after her title has ended? What do you think about that, Lauren?
My opinion, I think when a queen's reign is over, there's sometimes it's appropriate for her to wear a sash. I think the crown is a bit much because you passed on the crown to the new queen. I think your sash is still your chance to say, for this time frame, I was able to be this title holder and this representative. But after your reign is over, I don't think you need to do the crown anymore.
What are your thoughts on that, Nicole?
I think it depends on your pageant system. I know for ours specifically, a lot of us are in different areas of the country. So I think that if the former queen is out promoting the system as the former queen, I think that's okay. Especially maybe if her sash has the year on it that she was the title holder. I think it just depends on what your system is and, you know, how closely you are geographically.
True.
True, very true.
Yeah, you know what, though? I got to tell you, I have kind of a different swing on it. I feel that you're brand ambassadors of your pageant system, and even though you may not still have the crown on, of course, I'm not a title holder. I'm looking on the managerial side. You're out there promoting pageant systems. You are representation of the pageant system. And I would think as a director, if, you know, you would like to wear your sash, I understand the crown is very sacred to the queens and the kings, but your sash to go out there and continue recruiting and continue endorsing it, that's a big plus. You know, it really, really is. So that's my opinion on it. And Steffi and I have discussed it. And what I consistently hear is from you, the queens, is that it's the crown that's this, you know, that you really have the problem with. But Stephanie, your opinion is they should not wear either, correct?
Okay. Right, that is my opinion. I just feel like, you know, once you're crowned, you have your year to promote your system and your title, and once a new queen is chosen, I feel like, you know, you passed everything on to someone else, and now it's their turn to promote the title in the system. I guess I would feel uncomfortable when I give up my title in June. If when a new international Super Ms. is crowned, I would feel uncomfortable after that point in time. I would love to put my crown and sash on, but I would feel that it would be inappropriate, taking away from the newly crowned queen. Just as, you know, I wouldn't want to see someone else, you know, with my title, you know, promoting that same title now. That's why it's important to make the most you have of that year.
But you're promoting the pageant system, really. You know, and I just want to throw that out to you guys. I told Stephanie, I said, Stephanie, you know, to me, especially her as an international title holder, you have to really think of the business aspect of pageantry also. And the business aspect is, you know, promoting and getting people into the system. But I mean, that's fine. You guys are the queens, and that's why we're having this conversation, because there's no written rule. What is the rule? Stephanie Sylvester, you have a different idea on this, correct?
Correct. If I had it my own way, I would wear my crown and sash forever.
Wear it to bed, right?
Exactly.
I'm the queen.
Exactly. But no matter which way you look at it, you're always going to be a part of that pageant system. You're going to be a former queen. I do think that it's okay to wear your sash, but I do tend to agree with everyone else as far as the crown goes. I wouldn't want to take away from the current queen.
You know, and the thing is
my opinion.
No, but didn't you tell me one time too? Your system allows you to wear both. Correct, even when you're the former. So we have a difference in, I mean, I've been to events and I've seen former queens like USA, America, and I'm like, who are those people? I don't even know who they are unless somebody tells me who they are. But if they have their sash, 2008, 2009, at least I could identify who they are, because to the public, you guys are always queens. You're always queens to us.
Right. Correct. I mean, our sash doesn't have the year on it, and there are no set rules that you cannot wear your crown or sash as of right now.
Right.
Good.
Right. And I know I did ask my director, Janet, of America's Super Pageant, and she does not encourage wearing the crown and sash once you've given up your title. You know, she did mention something that, you know, perhaps at times pageant systems will invite former queens back. You might be attending an event, something, you know, with former title holders, and it's okay at that point if you are asked to wear your crown and sash. That would be a different type of event where it would be okay, but, you know, typically no. But then again, you know, it's just varying opinions, and, you know, everyone's coming to the table with, you know, different backgrounds and different systems, and, you know, there's no written rules anywhere, you know, once again, for the answer.
You know, and when I go back, and I'm talking about appearances, I'm talking about if you're raising money for charity, if you're promoting the pageant system for, like, getting more people in. I'm not just saying, like, wear it around and wear it shopping or something. You know, there has to be a purpose for it. You know,
well, I think that's what adds. I think that's what adds the extra dimension to the etiquette. I think as a title holder, you always have obligation to your system. You always are a representative of that system. So when called upon, yes, you always are there, crown, sash, and toe, because you still are an official, especially if you're a national queen. But I think beyond that, later, kind of the soliciting appearances so much later. Again, I agree with Stephanie when she said there's a new queen who's a national title holder once we give up our crown. So I think that's where you want to look at that etiquette line to say, how am I now promoting myself? How am I promoting just me? Am I just Lauren Ransom at this point, or am I still going out as Miss AE Woman, you know, the national queen? I think that's the biggest issue. So I think crown and sash, if I'm still, you know, after the reign is over, you just want to be mindful, because you do want to give that new queen the opportunity to shine as that national title holder.
And I agree, because there's no standard. You really don't know what mindful is, because there's no written standard anywhere that says this is, you know, this is not proper, you shouldn't do this. So it's really up to, you know, interpretation. And as we all know, everybody's tastes are different.
Sure.
You know, so, you know, that's the reason why we're having this conversation. And also, too, I know if I had a pageant system and you wanted to go out and promote with me, and put on the sash because you're a former queen, I would endorse it. because we don't, small pageant systems don't have the money like America and USA. You know what I'm saying?
True.
You are the brand ambassadors. So I would just give you that at the business aspect of it.
True.
True.
Well, great points. Great points.
Going around saying that she's the current queen, I think it would be fine because you are promoting the smaller pageant systems, and they probably could get as much, you know, love as much press as they can get.
Absolutely. Because advertising is a huge part of the budget of pageant systems.
Right.
And as long as your people know that you're the former, you wouldn't be stepping on the current queen's toes, and I think that would be fine. Especially if you're in different locations, you know, one queen can't, in a smaller pageant, can't promote all over the country like we would love. You know?
Sure.
True.
True.
But then you know what, I'm going to bring this up too, and we talked a little bit about this before, and I guess I would feel a little strange showing up somewhere, charity event, wherever, with my crown and sash on, knowing that I crowned a new queen. I'd feel like other queens, and the public may have a bit of a different view.
We do.
And yes. But then other pageant queens who would be like, well, didn't you just crown a new winner? You know, what are you still doing with the crown and that?
And this is my thing. I told Stephanie, you make it hard on yourselves because we as the public are like, oh, look, there's the queen. Oh, 2008, but she was a queen. You know what I'm saying?
True.
You guys put the pressure on yourself because people who have never been a queen don't have that, oh, she's the former queen. You know? We still like to look at you guys and talk to you.
But then the newly crowned queen may not feel the same way, however. I'm not sure.
She better get to that event then. You know?
Right.
To take up for herself.
Right.
Steph, you want to go on to the next one? Next question?
Absolutely. And, you know, we were discussing this the other day, and I know Nicole had brought up a great question. And I did a little research into it, so I'd have some information to share with everyone. But, Nicole, would you like to share your question with us?
Sure. One of my biggest questions has been, when you're making an appearance, when is it appropriate to wear both your crown and sash, or when do you just wear your sash or just your crown? Because sometimes you see pictures of other queens and they're just wearing one or the other, depending on the type of event.
Right.
So I was wondering, like, how do you know what type of event that you should be doing maybe one or the other or both?
Yeah, that's a good question. And, you know, I thought about that, and I wasn't even sure. And I did a little research into it. And I know a situation came up around 9/11 and supporting the troops. And someone had mentioned they were a title holder at that time, and they didn't feel it was appropriate. It was a little frivolous to have the crown on at, you know, such a serious event.
Oh, wow.
So that, I thought that was really interesting. And sometimes, too, different pageant systems, and I've encountered this, if you go to a pageant, certain systems will not allow you to wear your crown in to the pageant. And I've also been to, like, farewell events for queens, sending them off to the national pageant, and have also been asked to remove my crown. So I know that those are a few instances where maybe, you know, you might be asked to remove your crown. I know also, like, if you're doing some volunteering, if you're doing something physical, you know, it might just be easier to have your crown off, especially if you have a bigger crown. It might be easier just to set it aside.
I have another question for you guys. So we're talking about appearances. And so my question is to you is, when you go to an appearance, let's say you're going to an all-day event, and someone has asked you to show up, you know, to be a guest appearance, do you stay there all 9 hours, or what is the appropriate time for you to stay? Now remember, this is an all-day event. So, and they've asked you to, you know, or you have asked, could you please make an appearance? So do you believe that you should stay there, and let's say there's an entrance fee, So what is your opinions on that? Do you feel like you should stay the whole time and pay the entrance fee? And normally you always go with entourage. Someone usually always escorts you, and that's safety's first because you really don't know where you're going and, you know, different things. So what is your opinions on that?
Well, oh, sorry, go ahead. We'll let you go. Go ahead.
No, just thinking about, I think having a full understanding of what's required of you at the event before going in is key. I just think clarity will be power in that moment. If they aren't clear, I think once you get there, ask, say, hey, do you need me here the whole time? Before assuming to stay or assuming to go, because you don't want to offend them and leave early, and you just kind of don't want to linger and have no purpose. So I just think with that one, it's just always ask the event, even if you booked it or if they booked you, just get clarity on site. If they don't know, kind of feel it out, find the event person there, because they may have something for you to do later. So it could be, you know, a little bit of everything.
Hello, Kimberly. Kimberly without sound. We love you.
Welcome.
Hi. Can you hear her?
No.
Okay.
And Lauren, I thought those were great points, and I agree with you, and I think I would clarify with the person in charge and just say, you know, how long do you expect me to be here? And, you know, as for paying a fee to get in, an entrance fee, I oftentimes do that. You know, every once and again they'll say, oh, we'll let you get in, you don't have to pay, but I do pay a fee, and yeah, I would probably check ahead of time and, you know, see how long I'm needed. How about you, Lee? How do you feel?
Yeah.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. Welcome.
Yes.
Oh, too cute.
Kimberly, would you like to introduce yourself to us?
Yes, finally. My name is Kimberly Grooms. I am the current reigning queen for American Elegance. I am at the international level, and I have started my reign, I think, in November, and I have a full year to do fantastic things.
Well, welcome. We're glad you're here.
Thank you.
Oh, I hear the. You know what? I have to tell you, I did ask someone this question, and what they recommend is if you are going to an appearance, find out, like you said, you are absolutely correct, Lauren. Find out what people expect of you, and also you can negotiate at that point in time before showing up. Do I have to pay an entrance fee? I'll have someone escorting me. Do they? How long would you like me to stay? And many a times, like I've told you before, you guys are the guest of honors. So nobody makes a rock star pay to get in. So, I mean, that's what you are. And normally just to have you there, you know, for a couple hours, they highlight you. They say Miss So-and-so is going to be here, and on and on and on. So you're right, Lauren. You should you should negotiate all that prior to showing up.
I agree.
Right, right.
Usually before I make an appearance, I always make sure, is it okay if I wear my crown and sash? And how long do you need me for? And that's what I usually do.
Yeah, I do too.
Because I have shown up before where we did show up with our crown and sashes on, and they really frowned upon it, so we had to take them off. So that's
that
why
would
I
be
think
more
it's
embarrassing.
important before you go, you make sure that you ask. It was very embarrassing. I won't do that again.
Right, exactly. Yes, good to clarify it ahead of time.
Right.
Good point. Steph, you want to go to the next one?
Should we go on to our next question?
Sure.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Here's another question. Is it okay to correct a judge if he or she makes a mistake? What do you think about that, Kimberly?
If she makes a simple mistake, such as your name or your platform, I think that's an okay area to make a correction in. And any other area, I would just let it flow. If she mispronounces your name or something, I'll just smile and just say thank you.
So tell me, how would you correct them? If example, they said your platform was, I don't know, breast cancer, but your platform was really leukemia. So what would you say a correct way to correct the judge would be?
If she's asking a question about my platform, I would let it just slide in, and then I would introduce the platform myself. And that way, it's like an autocorrect, so that she hears it, and then she would autocorrect it. So I would just say, you know what my platform is, and I've enjoyed working with, and then I just kind of slide it in like that.
Everybody, she's an attorney, so I'm sure she can do that very well.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Right.
What do you think, Lauren?
I think in competition, you always want to handle things with tact. So if you're competing, if it's your final question or it's that moment where they do say something wrong, I'm with Kim. You smile. You ease your way into re-answering it the right way if they give you a chance to. You never embarrass someone. You never call them out, especially if they're judging you. Even if, let's say, you're at an appearance and they say your name wrong, you still kind of have to be gracious. Even if they screw up your name, they might screw up your title, they may screw up everything, but you can't act a fool. You always have to graciously, say, oops, you smile and say, well, actually, my platform is, or you help them out. I think if you just handle it graciously, it's not a problem.
Completely agree. Completely agree. I think being polite is the key and saying it with a smile.
Or we could do it the way that my daughter did when she was 5 years old at National Co-Ed Pageant. Actually, the MC was a Miss America contestant, and she pronounced her name wrong, and my daughter did a double take, like, what? And then she just stood there on the stage and whispered, that's not my name.
5-year-olds can get away with that.
Yes, they can get away with that, but I agree with Kimberly and Lauren. Just ease your way into it. What do you think, Nicole?
Yeah, I agree. I think if it's something like with your platform, you could be like, oh yeah, I do support breast cancer or whatever they mistaken it for, and although I do support that, my platform is for leukemia, and then you could go in about talking to leukemia, and since they're such a close, they're both cancers, you could probably relate that better to make it an easier transaction, to focus on what your actual platform is.
Sure.
I like that. You can make a connection right there. I like that.
So then you're not totally throwing them under the bus. I support that, but my actual platform is this, and then you could have a smooth transaction into what your platform is.
Sure, because they're all human and probably judging all day, and could be tired, sick.
Right.
Exactly.
So do we have any more questions? I don't see any online. Do we have any more questions?
No.
I have a question for you guys. Why would you think that these rules or guidelines are not written down anywhere? And in other words, you're all held to such high standards, but yet you have no guidance. You have to try to use your best judgment. You guys are mature, but I mean, just think of the teens and the younger, the princesses and things like that really don't have the backgrounds that you guys do. So I'm surprised there's nothing written for the pageant, for the pageant person to give them guidelines.
Yeah, like a queen's etiquette. That's a good point. I think because although pageants have been around for a long time, I think there's been such ebbs and flows with it. So consistency, I think, causes it not to have, say, some standard rules, because you've got large systems, you've got the little ones. So I think as of now, there's been standards for those huge national televised systems. And I think smaller systems kind of just try to sustain so much that they haven't really said, okay, these are standards of a national queen and she must do this everywhere she goes. I think it's, when we find a fantastic woman, just get out there and do it. When the systems can, continue to host systems, because we've seen so many kind of cease to exist as well. So I think it's just the small family just kind of almost has some unspoken expectations, and that they've never had to write it down.
Yeah, but you know, you think about it, we go to Miss Manners. I know I do. Well, I wonder what Miss Manners says. You know what I'm saying? Who made her the queen? You know what I'm saying? It's like, but all of us do, right? Oh, let me read what Miss Manners said, you know? And so, I mean, it's like, you know, and what is happening too with the culture change and things, different things are changing. You know, what is acceptable to one may not be acceptable to the other. And then once again, there goes the public. We see one queen that's very regal and handles himself, and then we see another queen that's just kind of out there that that gives us an opinion.
True.
And trust me, I've seen some of them out there. I have. They were younger, I have to tell you. They were younger queens.
Yeah.
They were, teens or something. And they're definitely the ones that don't know.
True.
Definitely.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I think, you know, just with the variety of systems, you know, all the systems are coming from a different place, and, you know, just everything's so different. I don't think, you know, there is one.
Wait, you guys. Everything is different, but you all consistently say, don't wear the crown. So it's not different.
You're right.
So you guys are very alike.
I don't know.
Not the crown, Pam. I'm like, okay. Not knocking. I'm messing because I don't have a crown. But you see what I'm saying? It isn't different because every one of you consistently say something about that crown. About the crown. I shouldn't say that crown. The crown.
I think it's probably just one of those things where it's not often talked about. And then from a queen perspective, since we all said not to wear the crown after, we just all assume that that's what the rule is.
Yeah.
Right.
Assume.
Exactly.
True.
So if your pageant does think that it's okay, we don't ask, so we don't know, because we just assume that we shouldn't be wearing it after.
That's true.
Kimberly, what do you think? I muted you. You can go ahead and unmute. I'm sorry. You were having feedback. I didn't want to embarrass you and say, I have to mute you because you have feedback.
I was so happy to win international because I knew at appearances I would still be pushing my platform for postpartum depression. So I really was so excited to become international. That way I have a lifetime crown. And now I don't worry about if my appearance is going to be, you know, something I shouldn't wear a crown for. And I was hoping, you know, that this would be something that when guests or royalty come to, you know, different events, that at one point in the pageant or event that you could crown up and sash down. I always thought that that was like something that, well, they came to your event to support you, or, you know, either one of us to support you. At some point, I think the crown and sash has a spot, or should have a spot available, so that everyone knows that royalty is in the building. So I think that if it's not written, that that's something that should be looked at myself.
Interesting, because you're a lifetime queen, correct?
Yes. Well, I'm international, and I keep this one until, if I am lifetime in the future, I can still wear my international.
So, excuse me, tell me, what does that mean? So you have a lifetime queen, so you can always wear your crown and sash because you're a lifetime queen?
Yes.
Well, that's the way to go, everybody.
Yes.
Exactly.
And I think that's where the unspoken rule came in. I think because you get the year per se. Most of the time, it's always been the reign ends. And I think the good thing about new systems is that they are allowing for a lifetime or an international or these extended reigns. So I think this is where the opportunity for, like, Miss Kimberly, because ironically Miss Kimberly crowned me, so I'm her successor.
Yeah.
She was Miss American Elegance Woman, and she crowned me that night. So this still gives her a chance to continue. I get a chance to get in there and do my thing now, but we still have respect for each other's positions. She's elevated in the American Elegance family as being outstanding during her reign, so she can still maintain it. So I think that's where more systems are going, and that's kind of beauty of American Elegance is that when that title holder does take to promoting the system, the platform, she does have another opportunity. Her reign just doesn't have to end. So.
Wait a minute, I like that idea. Now, Kimberly, are you able to compete ever again in another system? Now, you're a lifetime queen in your current pageant system. Are you able to compete in another system now? And I muted you again.
Yes, yes.
So what happens to that title when you put on the new one?
I think it just rests.
until you no longer have the crown on, and then you pick it back up?
Yes. That's what I'm thinking, and that's what I'm hoping.
See, there you go. Nothing's written, right? There you go.
Right.
And I mean, I know you're doing great things, like you're changing laws, and I mean, you're making laws and stuff like that. I mean, that's really great stuff.
Yeah.
But but still, this goes back to there's nothing written.
No.
So you're somewhat assuming. And assuming always gets me in trouble. You can argue your way out of it, though.
Did you hear me? It's paving the way.
Yeah, you got that right.
Okay.
Stephanie, did you freeze? I'm sorry.
Nope. I was just wondering if anyone else has any questions or comments, anything else they want to throw out there for tonight?
I would just like to say, as far as Kimberly was talking about, that's great about the Miss American Elegance system, having the opportunity to be crowned an international queen. And I know that they do have 2 lifetime queens that have been involved in the pageant system ever since it started, and that's why they're lifetime queens. But, I mean, that's one of the things that I really love about this pageant system.
That's nice, and I'm glad you guys brought that up, because I thought about that before, and why are there lifetime queens then? If you can, if some pageants allow you to go out and wear your crown and sash after, why would we have lifetime queens? So I mean, it's a good point, and every system is different, and it just gives you something else to think about.
Right, exactly.
So, how many systems do you know have lifetime queens? Just off the top of your head, if you had to guess, like 3 or 4?
Probably.
Yeah. I think it's a great title, because it's somebody. Once again, it's the brand ambassador for it. And I mean, this woman's making laws and things like that. I mean, what a great brand ambassador! That someone that's changing the country for a positive. So, right, good to you, Kimberly. Good seeing you again.
I'd say it's quite a few. I've seen quite a few, especially with, I've seen it in children's pageants a lot, and I've seen it, with smaller pageant systems. So, yeah, it's more common than one might think.
Okay.
Well, are you guys, if you want to, we can go ahead and finish up, ladies?
Absolutely. We can give each of our guests a moment to kind of wrap up and promote your platform. Tell us where we can find you, if we can find you on Facebook, or if you have a website. So, Kimberly, let's start with you.
Live on YouTube and Google+.
Okay, I'm unmuted now. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Very good. Once again, my name is Kimberly Grooms. I'm an international for American Elegance. I'm reigning all the way through 2013. And my platform is postpartum depression. Postpartum depression is now affecting, or it's been recognized that it affects men and women. About 10% of women are affected by postpartum depression, and about 7% of men. So I wondered how to get this message out to the public. So I went to the city of Chicago, and I presented a proclamation to them, say we need to bring an awareness, an official awareness, to make the month of May, because it's Mother's Day, postpartum awareness for men and women. And my hopes are, after the proclamation passes, which I have great hopes that they will, and they've already said there's no opposers, that this can be something that Illinois can also address. And if Illinois addresses it, California, New York, and a few other states have already made it a national holiday, and I really want to move towards that in the future, and that's what I'm working on with my platform, postpartum depression. And just to kind of give you an idea of what it is after mom has a baby. Sometimes she's so sad and crying and doesn't know why, and sometimes the symptoms actually go away. But sometimes they become hallucinations, and moms hurt their babies, and families are destroyed from that. So I decided to support postpartum depression because in Chicago there was a young lady who jumped from a 10-story downtown office building and she killed herself. And I had a chance to meet her, and she's the same age as I am. And I remember with my second child, I didn't know why. My mother-in-law kept saying, you better get up and go, and it just wouldn't come. And I had a very mild case of it, but after studying it, I've learned that it can give very reckless symptoms, and the moms are unaware of the things that she can do to the baby, like harm the baby, harm the family, harm herself. So that's what I'm supporting, and that's my platform.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Especially Chicago. I guess you guys would have to be careful with the seasonal affective disorder, too, because of your winters tend to be long also, so that probably compounds it.
Absolutely. And not knowing what the subject matter is and not being able to have it readily recognized.
That is great work. Great work that you are doing.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. I will ask for your support as it comes near. I want to do something really huge in the city.
Yeah, do you know Sherry, right? Gearhart?
I do.
Yeah, she's doing great things. This is very similar. It'd probably fall into her area with her charity. You know?
Suicide awareness, postpartum depression, anything that harms you that can be dealt with by just talking about it, I think is a good support system.
Great. It's good seeing you again.
Thanks everybody.
Yes, thanks for joining us. Great to see you.
Thank you.
And next we'll move on to Lauren.
Okay. Once again, first, thank you so much for having me. My name is Lauren Ransom. I am Miss American Elegance Woman 2012-13. My platform is pituitary tumor awareness. Actually, 1 in 5 Americans have a pituitary tumor or disorder and they don't know it. Ironically, I am one of those 1 in 5. In 2011, it was discovered that I had a pituitary brain tumor. And I had been going through so many years of having other kind of medical things happen. And the thing about it is that symptoms, and your body will tell you some things, but they're kind of the normal things that we may know. So weight gain, weight loss at normal periods, high blood pressure, all of those things, loss of appetite. The things where someone will say, oh, you might just be stressed out. Oh, you might be eating the wrong foods, or you might need to do a few different things. Actually turned out to be a pituitary tumor. So after 3 years of being misdiagnosed, kind of having medications for so many things, finally got on the right track after an MRI. And so many people just don't know symptoms. They don't know that they're suffering. And then once they are in treatments, what to do then. So my purpose in this next year is to raise awareness, to teach people how to look for symptoms, to know the right questions to ask their doctors when they start to see certain things happening, and then how to live with it. It's something that you live with. You either go through radiation, therapy, like a laser therapy to remove the tumor based on size. But for some of us, we stay on medication to avoid the tumor from growing. So that's another thing. How do you live with this? So I've been blessed to meet men and women that are suffering with this of all ages. They're excited about to let people know what they go through. So I'm excited. I'm hoping to partner with the Pituitary Action Network and the Pituitary Network Group and do some things to raise awareness, to tell my patient's story, to tell other patients' stories, and just to let people know it's out there.
Wow, that's really good stuff. I had never heard of that either.
No, my goodness.
No.
I'm learning so much from you guys. Doesn't PageantLIVE have amazing guests?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
Well, so glad you could join us tonight.
Thank you. I'm glad you had me.
Absolutely, anytime. And we'll move on to Nicole.
My name is Nicole, and I am Illinois Super Miss with the America Super Pageant. And our pageant platform is Seatbelt Safety and Awareness. So I'm pretty excited to hit the ground running with that because Illinois is a very proactive state when it comes to seatbelt safety and no texting when driving. So they actually just passed a law in Chicago that you can't even have your phone to your ear when you're driving. So I'm pretty excited to get involved with that. And it's just one of those things where people think it won't happen to them, but just taking that extra step could be the difference between saving your life.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Absolutely, that's so true. And you know, when I did come to Illinois in November, I did notice a lot of that. You know, I noticed a lot of, you know, no texting and driving signs, and yeah, I was really impressed. I was taking pictures of it. I was like, that's so cool. You know, and right now in Minnesota, you know, it is legal to talk on the phone. It's illegal to text. So, but I'm glad to see, you know, they're moving away from that, and you know, you can't talk on the phone. Yeah, people think it's never going to happen to them.
Right.
True.
Exactly.
Very true.
Right. Well, so glad you could join us tonight.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you for coming.
excited. You guys invited me. It was fun.
Absolutely, absolutely. Come back anytime.
Of course.
And then I'll kind of piggyback off of that. I'm International Super Ms., and I am also promoting seatbelt safety and awareness. And, you know, seatbelts do save lives. I was in a life-threatening car crash a while back, and my seatbelt saved my life. So I'm living proof. And, you know, if you're in a crash if you're in a crash and you have your seatbelt on, it's up to 50% chance that you're going to live versus if you did not have that seatbelt on. Takes 2 seconds. You know, that along with the lap belt, the shoulder strap, airbags, you know, you're going to be so much safer. And I've met people that, you know, just choose not to buckle up, and they feel like the law is making them, and I just don't understand that. And you know, it takes 2 seconds. If you're not buckling up for yourself, buckle up for your loved ones. You know, make sure you come home safely. You know, wear your seatbelt every time. And be sure to check us out at americasuperpageant.com and come find us on Facebook. You can find me too, Stephanie McGrain, on Facebook.
I will go next. I'm Stephanie Sylvester, the current Ms. American Elegance Lady, and my platform is celiac disease awareness, which is something that I myself suffer from, and my daughter is experiencing the same symptoms. And it's something that could be life-threatening, and it's extremely painful where you can't have any gluten, so you have to really take the time to read what ingredients are in everything, because sometimes even if the package says it's gluten-free, if you pay attention, it may say, well, it was manufactured where gluten products are made. So you have to be careful with that, and I am getting in contact with the local support group by me so I can get more information. I was diagnosed almost 3 years ago, and for the first 2 years I was really angry because I couldn't eat the foods that I really loved eating, and I didn't follow the diet. And a couple of days after I was crowned in November, I wound up back in the hospital again in more serious condition. So now I've been sticking to my diet and making sure that I follow, you know, what we're supposed to eat. And what I would like to do is to bring awareness to people on how important it is to make sure that you stay away from wheat and barley and things that say maltodextrin in it. And you know, I'll be learning more information about all of this with the support group and be able to talk to other people who are dealing with the same issues as myself.
Great platform. And I love that you're helping people. I love that all of the queens are just, you know, helping people and making a difference. And thanks for being such a fabulous co-host tonight.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me. It was so much fun. I really appreciate it.
Oh, come back anytime. And Pam, we'll leave it up to you to close us out.
You know, I want to thank everyone. One thing I can tell you, when my daughter first competed, probably about a couple years ago, I came into a group of young women and women that are they're phenomenal. You guys are phenomenal. You have goals and personal goals, and you care about your community, and you're doing such great things. And I really feel that you do not get the respect that you deserve. I mean, you guys are doing great things. I have learned so much every time we have a show about the great things and the laws people are changing and you know, getting information out on different diseases and stuff like this. So I applaud you. I applaud you all. I would definitely say that, you know, the crown doesn't make you who you are who you are. You know, so we're having this just to kind of like discuss the etiquette, you know, and things like that, because, you know, I don't want you to be embarrassed, you know, because you guys do great things. And I really appreciate every one of you coming in and being on the show tonight. I really do. And thank you, Stephanie McGrain, and thank you, Stephanie Sylvester, for hosting.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you. No, it's really my pleasure.
And Pam, I love Pageant Live, and I think this is a fabulous place for title holders to get together and, you know, talk about platforms and the positive things we're doing, and, you know, really, it's a sisterhood, and so I feel like I connect with every one of these fabulous ladies.
You know, we do.
What you're doing, yes.
I mean, we had the young girl on from England, and she's already connecting out to all the U.S. pageant, you know, and I tell everyone, come on, because you'll get new connections. Like, I know that I actually, like, Lauren was on our Tamika show. We love Tamika. We absolutely love Tamika. We all support each other, and we feed off of each other. We don't try to compete with each other. We embrace each other, because, you know, when you have that type of business ethic, good things are going to happen, you know. So remember, everybody, check out Tamika. She's Monday at 6, correct?
Yes.
Yep. Tamika Hall radio show. And don't forget Tim and Pageant Cast and Tira Magazine.
Yes.
Hello to all of them. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, and be sure to join us again next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Central for Pageant Live. And if you have any etiquette questions or ideas for topics in the future, please email us at show@pageantlive.com.
Oh, real quick. Taikisha, we know you couldn't make it in. Everybody say hi. She's Pageant Live's honorary princess.
Hi, Taikisha.
And she had a tiara tonight.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Stephanie, go ahead. She tell everyone hi.
Oh, hi, Taikisha. Well, thank you again, and thank you, ladies, so much. And another fabulous episode, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Good night, everybody. Good night.
Good night, guys.
Good night.